is a sir in his court. Looks to Slunkoth, the other one. I have good relations with him. We have spoken on a myriad of occasions. He's reasonable. I cannot imagine he would want any such thing. He understands well the good that comes from peace. That we are at this point a bit beyond silly squabbles. Men can solve their problems without swords, but with words. At least most men. It is the more civilized way. The realm is simply too tightly knit. Trade goes all over. Everyone would lose out on any such conflict, and we're simply too codependent to really for anyone to risk any such thing. And it is important that we show that we are not on guard.
Yet, even
these
with
vultures
such...
I shall look into, and we shall certainly find a solution for the problem with Lord Martell. Demilitarization, I imagine, would take a few moons at least, and of course the Crown would aid in compensating the houses that might have a vested amount of wealth in these sorts of military arms. The Crown will accept any of them, and in return we shall aid in constructing roads or infrastructure or making land, growing crops, and aiding in the creation of decent economical landscapes for the houses that may not have much else than martial tradition to rely upon. The king sees forward in about 20 years that the marshes could become, as most other places in the Reach or Stormlands, and be a profitable region of trade with Dawn.
Have you spoken to Lord Peake, my lord?
Yes, I have not. Not recently. He says he suffers from some of the same problems as Lord Selmy would. He coveted my position, but was found by the king to be lacking.
But, my lord, he is... I dare guess that he's probably not too fond of you, my lord.
And I imagine not. It is a shame. But some men have a pride that they wear in their sleeve.
But he is one of the prime martial lords, my lord. He is arguably as powerful as the Tyrells. This scheme would definitely not sit well with him. And again, I fear, although the intentions are well-meaning, and I do support the long-term thought of this, it is simply too dangerous, in my opinion, my lord. I am sorry to say it. Lord Peake would
suggest that the king should fear Lord Peake.
In my opinion, my lord, Lord Peake is the most likely to back anything that would go against the crown.
Some nobles live in the past. They think that we are still in a realm where conspiracies and squabbles can end in such things. If, however, there was to be any problem, you would not be implicated in this trouble, I hope.
Some blinks and says, my lord, House Caladan has ostensibly always supported the crown. That is why we raised another candidate to challenge Peake in the first place. We saw him as the danger he is, and we do not wish to afford him more power. Quite the opposite. That is not a secret with the history of our houses.
He will not be the victor of this vote, of course. Lord Ontarian will. And you will help in making sure that is so. I hope.
It is certainly a break of tradition that I still find somewhat troubling, my lord. To demilitarize the marshes is trails off a little bit and sort of slowly shakes his head. It is almost unfathomable.
Just indeed. I doubt that our good king will be known for nothing with the peace he's creating. He's a brave man. Beyond that, the crown is not officially allowed to have influence in the actions of the marshes, so I would instead defer my word to you, give you the ability to, for this vote, speak with my voice and authority, so that you could champion this cause. Sandalisha smile. Hope this isn't too much to take in.
Like, yeah. Again, turning to the rest of the group, like he is effectively asking us to like betray the marshes in a way. Be like, just demilitarize, and then when Blackfire shows up, you can't do shit.
Everyone in the marshes is gonna hate us.
The marshes won't demilitarize.
Well,
they just won't.
They're gonna hate Lord Dondarrion. They're only gonna hate us if we explain the entire plan to them. But that's also the sneaky part of this. It's like, well, if we champion them, then like we would ostensibly also back the demilitarization, which I certainly do not.
No, God no.
Not in our current climate.
It's.
But then.
The problem is that he killed off Selmy. Like he has snuffed that out.
Yeah.
So, like between Dondarrion and Peak, like.
Do we think Dondarrion is more likely to go with? What plan do we think he'd actually likely to go with?
The only way I see Dondarrion going, if there is trouble to be had, is to go with the king. Like there is.
Do you think?
Fine. The problem is.
Do you think he'd be willing at all to go with Karen's plan?
I don't think so. He is very friendly with Lord Butterwell, and like he has a lot of ties to the king. If the king calls, he would go. I think. Like maybe if we have extensive proof, we can convince him that. But as I see it, he's just throwing the marshes to Blackfire. Be like, here, take them. I have pissed them off so much, they would definitely go for you.
Do you think that's what he's actually up to? Do you think Lord Butterwell's actually up to that?
No, but even if I don't think I generally think he believes what he's saying. But he's so blinded by his own success economically that he cannot fathom a way where his economics would fail. Like he can't see the hatred. That's the thing. Because Blackfire will not show up and be like, "Oh, of course, I will have a castle in."
No, he's not. We know for a fact something's going to happen here.
Like we have that fireball knight traveling around openly recruiting for him. Like the Trants are openly supporting him. And Lord Peak most certainly is.
The problem is we have two situations here. We either put then the agent of the king in. We put the agent of the we put Gormy in, and Gormy's actually the bigger problem than who he works for.
But at this point, it just feels like
go for the king.
It just honestly, it feels like we're going like Blackfire with Peak or Blackfire later on with Dondarrion. Either way, it seems like
Lord Dondarrion. The thing is, again, he would say, okay. So the plan is, if I understand this correctly, then Malachi, is to elect Dondarrion, have him demilitarize the marshes, and then abolish the the title.
Yeah, or give it over to the king,
Yeah.
basically.
Which then makes the marches basically part of the Reach. Just
Well,
solid.
some of them.
Well, it will divide it. It will divide it into
Reach
the
and
Stormlands
Stormlands.
half will go back to the Stormlands, and the Reach half will go back to the Reach.
And yeah, I don't see any of the old Marcher lords being too happy about that.
I'm not too happy about it.
No, I mean,
We're old martial lords.
exactly. That's what I mean. Like, Selmy and Dondarrion should be pissed off with this, utterly, because they're old Marcher lords.
No, because Selmy got publicly shamed, so now he is like forced to throw himself at the mercy of Lord Butterwell. And Dondarrion is such a good friend with him that he agrees with everything he does. He does honestly think that it's time to demilitarize. Like I had a lengthy conversation with him about that like a couple of sessions ago, or like several sessions ago. That is the conversation that has spawned this conversation, because he went to Butterwell and was like, "Well, this Desmond is a bit of a weird guy."
This is just awful. Well, I guess in a sense are we more Marcher lords than lords of
I
you know,
was
Westeros?
like in
Yes,
the
Seven
future,
Kingdoms?
I was certainly like, if it's like we've seen what the vultures can do, we have clear indications that they're amassing something. I was trying to like track them, and I had a plan in place to do so, but it hasn't been like time enough to like implement it. I would need to speak to like Lord Dondarrion and a few other people to try to like set it up properly.
We've only got like a few, like not even a moon until the vote.
Right, but the election it's only part of the problem, because even
Yeah.
after the election, if the vultures attack, like we're gonna have hell to pay. Like, remember what Karen said? He's like, well, I'll try to hold them here at Night Song, but like you need to gather the lords and get here, because I do believe that this is gonna go to hell in a handbasket.
Can't do that if we're demilitarized.
No, we can't. And then the vultures, and we
Win.
have seen what they can do, will just waltz in and rip everything to pieces. We can't. As long as they remain, it is simply unthinkable. Like that would be going against our sworn duty to try to keep the Reach and the Stormland safe from these raiders.
We are also sworn to obey the king. There's
Yes, but rules-wise, law-wise, the Marcher oath comes first. The king can't override it. That's how the law is spelled out, I do believe.
In
Which
as
is
so
why-
far as keeping your duty of protecting the realms from Dawn, that is your utmost and highest calling,
Yeah.
officially, at least in
Yes.
ancient times.
Yes. And currently those laws are in effect, but if Dondarrion is elected, he will abolish that. And then the king can just command us around, and then we can't do anything. Like we don't have the man. If we had Karen up there, he could have this conversation. He can be the shield up there to protect the rest of us. Yeah, it's simply the risk from the south is too great.
the ramifications for saying no could be detrimental. Because Lord Butterwell, with a few strokes of his pen, could financially cripple us.
Yes. Oh no, he can end us completely if he wants
Yeah.
to.
So saying no will fuck us, but then saying yes will fuck us. I just feel like, you know, he's literally put us between a rock and a hard place, and I honestly don't know which side I'd rather smash my face against.
Yeah, it's like a Sophie's choice. You know, whatever we pick here is going to be bad.
Yeah.
Um,
Let's flip a coin.
No, my lords, I think we are in agreement. Smiles. I would take a bit of a rest, give you some time to maybe send some messages to your associates or such. I understand that it is a bit of a time. Perhaps later we could have a discussion. We could bring and see what sort of forces House Caladan has and what sort of agreements the kingdom could come to at the removal of them. That's why it's exciting, I should think. I believe you have some fields out here. Maybe they could be expanded upon.
Doesn't frowns slightly and says, "My lord, it is a lot that you ask of us, and I would like a little time to think on it, if possible."
I understand. You do not know me yet. I have time to stay for a few days. You don't travel that long without taking a few days. Now, if you would, I think I should have a nice hot bath.
Of course, my lord.
Yes.
I need to speak with the prince. Be like, listen to me.
Perhaps on the morrow we shall have another conversation and finalize the details.
I'll finalize some details. It's delicious. My lord Hand.
My lord Hand.
You don't have to stand here, Sir Gawain. The knight doesn't answer. You go up to find a place to get a bath.
Desmond sinks his head into his hands.
Wait for a few seconds. Make sure they're out of hearing range.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, by the 7.
Yes, by the 7 indeed. He frowns deeply. Stranger take me, I believe that Lord Butterwell is quite a fool.
Then it's just rub the side of her head slightly. How did... This is not going to go well.
Selmy undid himself by his idiotic posturing.
Admittedly, in his position, I can see why. But... this leaves us with a problem.
Yes. Yes, it does. Whatever we choose, this is bad. The only thing I can come up with is to press the issue that the southern border is indeed not secure. We can simply not, in good conscience, go forward with this plan at this junction. It is simply, we would open up our belly to being slit by any outlaw or ruffian from the south, or anyone else for that matter.
And we know there are plenty of people who would love to try.
Yes, we have a whole section of them. One of them is a house we thought allied until very recently. I am thinking that is that House Ironwood might very well have been part of the attack on the 3 pairs.
You really
It goes in my mind beyond just Ollie and Sand's betrayal.
You think so?
Yes, they certainly have the arms and funds to do it. They control the Bone Way. It would be quite easy for them to let anything pass if they so wished. If we would have perished on the 3 pairs, who would then have taken control of the house? Well, it would be...
Moreover, it was the one time I did not travel with you.
Yes, perhaps a miscalculation. Perhaps they would have had Ollian Sand murder you in your sleep.
I don't know if they would have done that.
If not, they would have tried to control you via Rosette.
I think that's their more likely plan. Kind of smirks slightly. But this does have...
They would have had a lot to win to take us out. They would have had a puppet house in the marshes, an excellent bridgehead for them.
A surprising number of people have great use of going against us.
Yes. Very few stand with us, it seems.
We're going to need all the help we can get. Of which, have you spoken to the Tarleys at all?
No. They have their own problems.
They can't escape this.
No.
No,
They cannot. I simply... Lord Butterwell can command me to do this, and I would be compelled to do so. The law protects me somewhat, but... Shakes his head. In my heart, Lanus, I do believe that this is folly. I cannot in good conscience agree to this.
The issue is, what other choice do we have?
Yes, what are the choices?
We side with one or the other.
One way out I can see would to try to get some hard evidence, really try to dig into the vultures and see if we can confirm the fears that I and at least Lord Karen share, that they are indeed massing.
How long do we have left?
Shakes his head, I don't know.
We don't
Month.
have...
And another month for Dondarrion to take power and install himself, and after that I would imagine it would begin in earnest.
We just don't have the time.
No. No, we don't. I would have to try to argue with Lord Butterwell that this needs to be handled first.
How do we convince our Lord Hand?
Also, the vote is in 15 days.
He is legendary for his slyness and his skill at negotiating. I am good at words, but I am honestly not sure that I could. He's the most famous negotiator in the kingdom.
Does that mean we don't try?
No, I suppose not. We will have to try.
So Alaric on his way back. We'll take a look at what's going on what went on, I suppose, would be the right way to say it, in the Willow Spring Tavern.
Oh, that's me.
Yeah, a few days has passed, and you sort of got to the place where you will be, like, cleaning things, putting firewood.
Sure.
There. A man walks in. You know.
He does seem familiar.
Looks around, walks quickly,
It's your boyfriend.
or sits down. No one turns heavily, and they speak a little while about this or that, really. Nothing too major. After that, he goes down here. This man comes down and speaks with him.
Ema will. Does it look like they need refills?
No, right now. Halen isn't drinking.
No, that's sorry. These.
Yes, always.
Ema will pick refills, so I'll go over, look at, put the drinks and look at Gorman.
Sure, he'll drink.
Friend of yours. Smiles.
Says, hi. Could say that.
It's good. You seem to have been bored being here.
Not him I was waiting for, but yes, I am rather bored.
If you're so bored, why are you staying here? You can just go and do whatever you want. You're noble.
As if only it was that simple. We have things we need to do as well. Don't you worry about me, though. I'll make it. I am in good company, after all. Looks to all of his people. We'll be gone soon enough.
He smiles. It's not that I want you to leave, my lord. You've been the nicest person I've met.
Oh. Well, perhaps you have considered my offer, then. It is a small favor, nothing to really thank me for.
He smiles. Maybe I have reconsidered.
So, I suppose we shall see once we leave.
When are you gonna leave? You know?
A day or two. Any day now, should be.
Is it out of line asking who you're waiting for? Your girlfriend, maybe?
Not quite. Just a meeting. I would expect it to have happened sooner, but the road can be dangerous these times.
I know that well.
Swings and says, nothing for you to worry about.
If you say so, my lord. So, you know your friend, what would he want to drink?
Clean water, I think.
Smiles. I'll surprise him with some clean water then.
All right. Helen's talking to this man about scripture.
Well, she'll
Wait a
get
second.
clean water. What?
Clean water opposed to dirty water.
Well, the cleanest she can get. My lord, can I interest you in some clean water?
He looks up in the middle of a sentence. Says, put it down.
What about you?
Says, I don't need anything. No, thank you.
As you wish. You know, Nima will go and clean this table. It's probably gross.
Sure. They seem to be discussing different types of learning, what this man has done before. He's apparently worked some in Highgarden to teach very young members of Cyril how to do things, but he might have seen something or other, and now he's looking for work. Apparently Halen has had him recommended to him by one of the peaks.
Oh god.
The Peaks recommended him.
They're talking about minor things, guiding pay, living, when he can start. Helen is explaining that this might be a difficult task that he's setting out for. I will say that he has had no student he could not handle. It's all about finding the weak spots, and then, yeah, you know, talking about medieval teaching methods.
Mm-hmm.
I'm pretty sure Bree would not take kindly to them.
No.
Though, maybe Nima would be the one to be punished if she didn't.
True. Well, Nima will just clean the table humming.
Sure. The day goes by without too much of really anything. Halen returns with the Peaks to the camp, so does the teacher.
What camp?
The tent camp, where the Knights of Peak hang out.
Where would that be?
Behind cabin.
Outside, behind this place.
Where do they sleep? At the inn or at the camp?
There is no sleeping rooms here. They sleep in the camp. They're
This is the
tents.
bar.
We have, and this tavern has nothing to do with that place.
The place where they sleep?
No, the camp.
The camp is but a field where they put up their tents.
So yeah,
Right here.
So this place has nothing to do with that.
What do you mean?
They don't own the field, I don't think.
No. No one in this tavern would have anything to do with that camp.
Well,
no,
all
not
the
really. Like, they don't do anything there. People come in here to have food and drinks and such.
Mhm.
Camp's
There's
just
something-
like tents that have been put up
Yeah.
where they rest.
Because, you know,
They likely do that a lot since they are sort of a traveling group of knights. They probably don't stay in one place for too long.
Hmm.
The next day, as they're in here again, another person whom you might not know though. Oh god.
Oh my god! What?
Just a second.